Hello, Facebook family. Hi. How are you? I'm not in my usual space, so today I don't have a stand and I'm going to do a lot of walking around. So, hi, how's everybody? And our topic today is why do ambitious people distance themselves? And I'm going to wait a little while so we get some people on before I go deep in this topic. And I will be taking a similar topic to my other page, but first we'll start here. Waiting. So let's get this right. There we go. Hello. So let's turn off that light. Just doing the setup now. Okay, so I'm sorry for moving around and fidgeting a lot. I'm not in my usual space. This is a little different, so I'm winging it when it comes to holding the camera and trying to stay on point. But why do ambitious people distance themselves from non-ambitious people? And is it fair? I would like to see comments. I want to see perspectives. What do you think? What's your point of view? Do you think it's fair? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll be waiting. Let's try to put this there. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can let go of the phone like that so that I could use my hands and be free when I'm talking. Is the sound good? Is the sound clear? Are you able to hear me? If you're able to hear me, give me some hearts or a like button, a thumbs up so that I know if you're able to hear me before I continue talking. So, hi. Waiting. All right. I'll go ahead and should I find that this video doesn't have enough volume, I could pre-record it, but if it's fine, then I'll leave it on. But I will go in and dive into the topic. Why do ambitious people distance themselves from non-ambitious people? It could be family, it could be friends. And is it fair? And my perspective, my findings, what I've observed and what I've learned is that the non-ambitious distance themselves from people who are not as ambitious because of understanding that the mindsets are different and they will end up colliding. Even if it's people who are very loved, people who are dear, when two different mindsets that don't have the same goal, they end up clashing. Why do I say this? If a person who's ambitious and trying to do better for themselves, and let's say they put themselves amongst people who've achieved more, who know more, anything they say to those people wouldn't be considered as bragging. It would then be talking about what they do. And other people will be able to appreciate that, help them grow, show them areas maybe where they could improve and whatnot. And it gives them a sense of the belonging to the people who are better, who have achieved more, or who are at a place where that person wants to get. But having an ambitious person mixed with people who are non-ambitious, you get to hear the mindset and you get to hear words like, one, the person is being bossy, because if you're talking about what you have or what you want to do, or you have this drive, this enthusiasm, and everybody else is complaining, there are times people will go and say, no, that person is being bossy. It's seen as negative to people who are non-ambitious. Why is this person trying to be who they're not? This is not who they are. So to them and their mind and their belief, this person should be where they were before, and that's not good for growth. It's not good for climbing the ladder and getting better. And you find that most people have had to detach just to avoid that scrutiny. It could be from friends, it could be from loved ones, it could be from old acquaintances, because they don't want to continue being attached to a person who they used to be. They want to be better. And sometimes the only way other people find it easier to get better is when they don't have negativity against them. Let me explain. When you have non-ambitious people, normally there is no goal and they take life as it comes. Whatever happens, happens. Whilst you have another person who says, okay, I want to accomplish this, I would like to do this. Let's even say a student or a business person. And they have their day planned out. Every time it's hustle, hustle, hustle. And when they do have some free time, they could spend that free time either with family, share it with loved ones, or people who are very key to their being. Whilst those people who have nothing to do or have free time, let's not say nothing, who have more free time and are open to whatever comes, they want to spend all the time just chatting. And sometimes it's hard when a person has goals. So for example, let's say you have someone who's very ambitious and their goal is not to be in poverty. Their goal is to make sure they have money for electricity, money for all the bills around. They're able to take their children at a good school. They don't want their children to walk 5 kilometers or let's say 4.5 miles to school. They would like to be able to drive or put that child on a bus. That person will be putting more time in things that gives them revenue than a person who takes life as it comes. To go a little bit further on this, when you have non-ambitious people, there is nothing wrong and there is no right or wrong answer. People have a choice to be who they are, who they want to be, and kudos for anybody who's not ambitious and they just go life with what comes. But when you look at other people, or let's say for me individually, is I know I don't want to be in a situation where my child has to walk 10 kilometers to go to a school, because I live in a place that's cheaper to live in, but the school systems are so far, you know, the schools are far. And I would want to be able to afford, even if it's, let's say, transportation, for them to go to school, because we do live in a capitalist world, and ignoring that is brutal. Ignoring that we live in a capitalist world, and just because we say, oh, I have a good heart, oh no, this is what I like, it doesn't really help. You'll find some people who take children to school, no food there all day, and they have to walk a long distance simply because of the mindset that maybe the parents want to take. Sometimes those people who are in hard situations really have to dedicate their time, their thinking into things that are productive. And when you sit with that person and you just want to talk about who did what, which party is happening, where to, you know, just sit and just talk. You know, there are different Facebook groups just talking about problems. All that doesn't bring revenue. And for someone who's ambitious, they'll detach simply because that other person's goal, their mindset and what they focus on is totally different. That person is worried about, I don't want to be walking barefoot. I want to be able to afford a bus fare or a taxi fare. I want to be able to eat this kind of food. I want to be able to provide for my loved ones, for family. If my father is not well, my mother is not well, my sister, I want to be able to provide for them. And in a capitalist world, how can you become a provider? There are many ways, but one of the ways that people can really do is by being productive. So when you do have this person who's very productive, very future focused, they want to do better for themselves, topics like who did what, who said what about who, are irrelevant. They bring nothing to the table but stress, which you have no control over. People worry about things they have no control over. That's why you find at times ambitious people distance themselves. It's not that they hate a person. It's not that they dislike who that person is, but who they are trying to become, what they are trying to accomplish goes against the principles of the person who just wants to sit and catch up and talk all the time. Another example. Being a student, something I've experienced, being a student, I am with many other classmates, and the mindsets of most students is very different. As a person who's me a little older, coming from a business background, and I've experienced life, so it's a totally different level. And when you have people who focus and only complain about what's happening around, oh, did you see that coffee? Oh, did you see that shoe the other person was wearing? Oh, look at her hair. Look at, when it comes to a person who's trying to create an empire and wealth, they're not focused about who wore what shoe where, how long, how short, what's that skirt is. They don't care. Or they care, but it doesn't really matter. To them, it's productivity. Does this bring funds? Does this bring rewards? How does this empower me? How does this help me be a better parent, a better provider? How does this help me be in a situation where, if you're a lady, for ladies out there, sometimes looking for a relationship when you're not stable puts us at a disadvantage, because you will take anything that comes because you're desperate. But for those people who have standards of what they like, people like me, we want to make sure we are stable so that we have choice. The more stable you have, the more choices you have. When choosing a partner, when choosing a lifestyle, you can say, I like this, I don't like this, and then you cater life to things that ease you. You don't have to be in relationships that don't make sense, that are abusive, that are not functioning, just because you're desperate. You choose to be in a relationship because of connection, one-on-one. So when people have goals in life, the way they step up, the way they connect with other people is different. And you always find a collision with people who are non-ambitious, because their mindset, they don't have time. They don't have time. They don't have strategy. I mean, they have time, they have strategy. Let me show you something I put up here for you. Just a moment. So, when you look at ambitious people, they have an outlook. And this outlook focuses on a schedule, that they have time. And their time is timed into productivity. They have goals. When you look at a non-ambitious person, their outlook is they wing it. They have free time, so they can talk for a long time about anything and everyone that's happening around them. They have no focus. But if you are a person who wants to be a better person, who doesn't become a complete dependent, you would have to take steps that empower you. And if you do want to be a dependent, you have to make sure you're not being a dependent on someone who's also, not stable. That's another topic for another day, another story. That's something else I can, coach on. But I'm focusing on the ambitious and non-ambitious. When you are ambitious and you have goals, even if you don't plan on working, the way you step up is different. Let me give you an example. If you're an ambitious person, let's say you're a guy or a girl or anything in between, and you want a great life, you want a luxurious life or a comfortable life, and you plan never to work. And if you're ambitious, you will find you will put more time in taking care of how you look, how you come out, because you want to be the ideal partner that other people will find attractive. So your looks will sell you. You don't just show up. You plan how you step up. When you have a person who's not ambitious and they're just looking for anything that comes their way, they never put time in themselves. So a person who puts time in themselves and a person who just wings life, aka non-ambitious, is someone who will find it very difficult to relate to someone who's ambitious. And for those people who question themselves on, am I doing the right thing? There's no right or wrong, because people are different. People are different, people have different desires. But regardless of the belief, regardless of the desire, we live in a capitalist system. For you to watch this, you have to have either Wi-Fi or internet bundles on your phone. Costs in money. Where does the money come from? That's a big question. For people who want to look the part, they want to have beautiful hair all the time, all done up, it costs money. For you to have food, the type of lunch you want, if you want to get a takeaway pizza or maybe a 5-star meal, or just want to have a proper balanced diet, you want vegetables and whatever protein and carbs, you know, like a balanced good diet that's not made of GMO, costs money. And if we live in a capitalist system where everything is costly, the school where we live, even using the toilet, when you flush the toilet, that toilet still, it's water, it's money. How can you step up? And it's what separates us. Those of us who are awake, or those of us who are ambitious and want to do better, we decide, okay, what can I do to make revenue or have goals that I don't squat in life, I don't suffer in life, I need to put in the work. And when you have people who are just easygoing and, you know, things will sort out themselves, conversations can't match. If I have 30 minutes, for example, 30 minutes free time, and I'm a person who is working on something, it could be posting videos like this, creating brands, or just giving back by educating people for free. That 30 minutes I'll allocate to a video like this. But if I had no goals, I would be on the phone talking about who wore what shoe, their torn pants, what relationship, who's fighting with who, when that does nothing for me. So the same for ambitious people. Ambitious people have goals and their time is very valuable. It doesn't just go anyhow. Things have to be scheduled or have to make sense or play a role or on who they want to become. Non-ambitious people, what they believe in, what they look for. You know, some people are just bored. They want someone to gossip about who did what. They want to make another person feel smaller than they are. So when the person starts talking about great things they like, or maybe when they dress up and look good, they'll make them feel bad for trying to be better because they can't identify with that. But when a person who has goals tries to squeeze in or make time for those people that are non-ambitious, they'll find themselves in constant doubt. They'll find themselves never moving and being unhappy because where they want to go, the kind of person they are right now cannot reach there. And then the other people who are down there are holding them to a standard which keeps them down there. And at times people have had to let go. Is it fair? No, it's not fair. Is it a need? Most people have to make that step. It's a need depending on levels and where someone is. And there are those people who might not have, but they're very ambitious. There are those people who might not have, but they're ambitious and they struggle, but they are ambitious. Such people you make time for because you know that they are learning, they're developing themselves, or they have the mindset to try and be better. It's different than a person whose goal is only to focus on everybody's flaws. You know, like someone can come and watch videos, they can get the wisdom from it with a growth mindset. Another person who is a pure critic will come and maybe they'll talk about the hat, they'll talk about the hair not being blown so straight, they'll look for flaws. So different mindsets, different outlooks. And it's very important to identify that at times, even if it's not fair, detaching from people who cannot accept you changing in the next level you to be either distanced or left back. It's unfair, but unfortunately that's the way of the world, especially in the capitalist system. That's why at times when you see one person in a family does very well or other people are trying, it's changing. You don't have to be who you were 10 years ago. You have to change. If people see you, oh no, you used to be this. I'm like, that's 10 years ago. Like, did you expect me to be the same? The way a baby behaves with the way a 10-year-old behaves, totally different. A 10-year-old compared to a teenager, totally different. A teenager with someone in their 30s, their mindset, totally different. So to want to stay the same does not make sense. It does not make the sense. It does not make sense because life hits you. Whether you like it or not, you'll be growing older. And to want to stay in one place, it doesn't help. So this is why most people who are ambitious detach. It's not that they hate a person or think little of a person, but it's just that their mindsets are going to collide. Things are not going in one direction. That's why sometimes when you have acquaintances or friends, you can talk on, hi, how are you? And end right there. Like right now, sometimes I get inbox where people are just saying hi, hi, hi. That time I'm responding to someone without direction who doesn't know what they're saying. I could spend time with my father, I could spend time with my child, because time is precious. And when you have ambitious people with non-ambitious, you'll find that it's going to collide, because the non-ambitious will say, Panga, like, they can't even respond to me. But you're just saying hi, hi, hi. Yes, I'm fine, I'm breathing. You're going to see the video. It shows that I'm okay. So it's different mindset. But those people who value time will step up differently. Do step up differently. A person who's ambitious, goals, and a lifestyle they want to get to. When they talk about what they like, when someone dresses well, people who identify that, some people will be like, oh wow, you look amazing. When you see someone making a video celebrating their win, oh, I made this money, Shani. Those people are ambitious who congratulate, oh, good job, good job. But when you have non-ambitious people and you have someone celebrating a win, they'll say, being boastful. They'll say, why are you dressing like that? That's not who you are. You are not that person. So it's like an example, seeing a street kid, always in ripped clothes and whatever, is maybe he's never had clothes that are smart, that are good, or that are clean. The time he buys a new jean and new top and looks the part, you have other street kids say, yeah, you're pretending to be who you're not. What does that mean? It means the person is graduating, but people who've known that person want to hold them to that standard of ripped clothes, whilst people who are always dressed well will look and say, oh, congratulations, he has one pair. Oh, next time maybe he'll get 2, maybe 5 pairs of clothes to be able to change and not just rely on one. So people who are ambitious, or people who are high achievers, will recognize game and they'll say, oh wow, you're trying, congratulations, keep it up, good for you. But when you have non-ambitious people, they'll see someone change, trying to elevate themselves, even if it's coming out of poverty, or maybe trying to do better, and they'll say, no, that's not who you are. Come back. This is fake. What's fake? What's real? Time. Time. People change. The way a child acts, the way a 10-year-old acts is different. And when you have a 10-year-old and people wanting to treat that 10-year-old like a 2-year-old, it doesn't help. The person has to grow, the person has to be elevated, and you keep on growing, you keep on climbing the ladder. Even if you don't want to do anything, as long as days are going, minutes are going, you're growing, life happens. So I am giving friends permission. I'm giving friends permission and everyone that you can change. And when it comes to being ambitious, you will recognize at times when you have people who want to hold you to a certain standard and you want to get there. If you want to get there and you just reach here and people down there say, no, this is not who you are, come back. As long as you spend a lot of time with critics, you spend a lot of time with people who don't see the vision you have, because your vision is your vision as an ambitious person. It could even be someone who dresses well, someone who has 5 outfits for the week. It could be someone who has, someone who's trying to just get more income. An ambitious person and the non-ambitious will usually collide. So like, for example, when you meet a non-ambitious person, when you start talking, it's going to be about who did what, who didn't do what, who, those things. And if you spend 2 hours thinking about that, your energy is drained. And next time you meet that non-ambitious person, what does the ambitious do? Squale. Trying to find cover. You take cover because those people will drain you. But when you're around people who are giants and you're small and they're giving these vibrations, this energy, you change. You start walking with your head high. The time you reach non-ambitious people, when you say, oh, I'm great, I'm better at this, and you're raising yourself up, they'll come and say, no, that's not who you are. That's not who you are. No. What makes you think you're better? And then they question you. And when you surround yourself, or an ambitious person is around a person who's non-ambitious, and they're questioning you, when they go away, even if you said sick or you didn't really listen, when those people go, those questions in your subconscious, they are planted. You start doubting yourself. The way a person will step up who's praised, and the way the person steps up who's always talked under, or who, when they try to present themselves as an authority or someone who's great or someone who knows more, they're always doubted. In a crowd, the two people differentiate. So you find people end up detaching. Is it fair? No, because sometimes it's family, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's, close circles that really want to stay close to you, or they want that connection you had. They're stuck in yesterday. Oh, because a long time we used to sit, we used to just, yes, we were young and now we're older. Yeah, it happens. And unfortunately, that's the thing. Non-ambitious people with no goals, they wing it, they just live life. An ambitious person, always looking for the next step to grow as a person. Wanting to be a better provider, wanting to have a better quality of life. When I say better quality of life, sometimes it's having a jean that doesn't trip when you walk. Okay? Some jeans when you walk, kalepuka, because you couldn't afford the expensive one. Capitalist system. So okay, I want a jean that lasts me 5 years. That one from Shanyoko lasts me a day, and sometimes when I walk it trips. Small things like that. It's just examples. But at the end of the day, it's quality. What quality of life do you want? Do you want to build a home that when it's rain and it's storming, the roof doesn't fly away, and you and your family are safe? Do you want to do that for your parents? As an ambitious person, and as a person who wants to achieve, you ask yourself those questions. So when you're working and you're putting on the time, you're laser focused. But when you do have a person who just, whatever, it collides. Because they want to sit and talk about who wore what shoe, who did what, and they're so concerned about people outside what they're doing than focusing on what's within. I'm very curious, even after the video, when I post it and there is a replay, let me know. Even right now, take the time, leave a comment, let me know if you experience something close, someone holding you to a certain level. No, this is not who you were. They've become talkative. They think they're all that. No, you might think, for example, I'll take this, I'll take the blow, I'll take it because I can. Some people will look at me and they'll say, no, this person is being bossy, they're thinking they're all that. But there are levels to this game. When you look at me, I'm just a small person starting out, creating their brand, working and actually giving value to people. Making people see another side of things through my experiences. But at the same level, it's very fair to identify. Let's do that. Oops. There we go. It's very fair to identify that people like Oprah Winfrey, levels higher. I'm an ant compared to that. There are many people who work at speakers, and there are many levels. And if I keep on looking at that, whenever I put content like this, helping out or really sharing my knowledge, other people who are there will say, oh, this is good. You're giving back to your people, or you're really creating yourself and creating yourself to be a better speaker. But when you have someone who I've never spoken online, all they talk about is Dununa reverse and pate after pate, and that's all they talk about. I do talk about pate after pate, by the way. But if that's all someone talks about, who went to which kitchen party, which present they bought for this, who bought a new phone, they're more focused on that. Oh, your hair wasn't so perfect. Oh, your makeup, your eyes weren't on flick. That's their goal. To them, that's their world, and that's all they know. When you have such, they'll look at a video and say, oh, look at how she went with a scarf, like a street kid. That person is finished. Well, they'll say things that will take even the little confidence you have will go away. So what do? Keep quiet. Or you detach, ignore, and focus on where you want to go and deliver more. You spend time with people who are ambitious. That's why people who are ambitious and people who are non-ambitious collide. It doesn't work. Long term, it doesn't work. That's why when you see holidays or people get together, good 30 minutes, 1 hour, or whatever event, and people go their separate ways, because different goals, different lifestyles require different schedules, require different mindsets. It's all about the mindset and goals. For those who just come again, a short video again, a short show, just like I put out there. Ambitious people have an outlook. What do I want? I want a better life. Or when I have a child, I don't want my child to be walking 10 kilometers to go to school under the rain because I couldn't afford a bus fare, or because I couldn't drive them to school. I don't own a car, or I don't have gas. So they schedule their time in putting their time into productivity. They're busy. They're very busy. They have goals. When you have a non-ambitious person, their outlook is, oh, wing it. Anything happens, they have free time all the time. So they want to be on the phone, communicate on Facebook. Hi, how are you? How are the chickens? How are the pumpkins? How are the leaves? Or did the caterpillar fall from the tree today? What happened? They have so much free time. Free here, very free. While these are busy. So when you have those two on the plate, it will collide. And it's very fair for yourself, for your family, and for the quality life that you want. It could be a small house, it could be a big house, it could be just not wanting to be walking every time, maybe wanting to buy a car so that you don't have to walk kilometers to get to a location. It could be just wanting to keep the lights on in your house. It could be wanting a stronger roof, which is more expensive, money capitalist system, and you need to put in the work. With someone who just sits and does nothing, it's going to be different. And sometimes you find when you're talking about buying, for example, again, let's say a roof that stays the winter, doesn't fly away and doesn't expose the family to the cold, the rain, and all that good stuff. Talking to a person who has maybe a kanilata, kawan sheet, and they're very comfortable with that. To them, as long as they have that kanilata, they are very comfortable. If that person wants more, they'll say, you already have this. Why aren't you grateful? The secret is, even ambitious people are grateful, and they are the most grateful. They are grateful for everything, the air they breathe, their heart bumping, the family, even those negative ones, even the non-ambitious ones. But they do realize that for them to be a better provider, for them to have a better quality life for them and their family, they have to put in the work. They have to have schedule, strategize. And it's very different. So sometimes there may be love, there may be a connection, but at the end of the day, different goals, different outcomes, and the two collide. And it separates the two. Is it fair? I don't know. No. But we have to choose. Do we stay in poverty, or does that one person say, okay, people can hate me, can say what they want, but I need to climb this ladder. I need to go to where I'm going. If you're carrying things, you're selling, and you're walking, you are putting hours. It's production. It's different from someone who just has lipstick and just sitting and expecting things to happen. Different outcomes. So you have to know your road. You have to walk your road. And when it comes to those people who are non-ambitious, or maybe they have a different perspective, that's their mindset. They can keep it to themselves. They're welcome. You can keep your mindset. Focus on climbing that ladder. When you have one sheet of roof, you can look for a sheet that's thicker, that's not blown away. It's not that you're non-appreciative, but you appreciate, but you just want to be safe. Nothing wrong with that. Put in the time, get what you need. If people use a borehole all the time, some other people don't have water. Yes, we understand that. But if you had to put in the time, you can afford maybe putting taps in the house. Maybe that's your goal. When you're working or doing whatever you're doing as an entrepreneur or as an ambitious person, focus on your journey. Because when you are thinking about taps and someone has a borehole or maybe the fetch water, you have to realize that people who have filter systems in the house, every tap has a filter system, which is very expensive, and they drink that water and it's clean. So there are levels. appreciate your level as an ambitious person, but you have to understand non-ambitious people might not see your view. Even if you show them, they might not understand. And don't wait for people to understand you for you to move. You will never move if that's the case. That's why you see in a family maybe 5, maybe 1, maybe 2 people actually go up. You can even put the same information to 2 people, but one person will see, the other won't see. Instead of spending your time explaining to someone who won't listen, climb your ladder. So, do ambitious people and non-ambitious have conflict? Why do they attach themselves? I've given you the reasons why. Is it fair? Maybe not fair, but that's what it takes to climb the ladder and be better. That's what it takes for Zambia to have its Oprah, for Zambia to have its Bill Gates, for other countries and everybody to have that person who really does so well that the family never has to suffer again. And they think and act beyond emotion. They think because of, they act according to what needs to be done, not how do I feel. Yes, I feel this, but what do I need? And then you act according to what you need and what you feel. And as long as you're not acting towards feelings, and the non-ambitious are using feelings every time, they just wing it, it's going to collide. It won't make sense. You get backlash. You'll get teased. Someone will come here and say, oh, you should have had lashes. You know, because you're going on video, they're more focused about that because to them that's success. I'm not thinking about lashes because I'm thinking about $1 billion. I'm thinking about $1 million. So as long as I'm putting in the work, it's going to be different. And you get people who've never done what you're doing advise you. They've never done it. Let me know if you've experienced that. You know, so that's it. Why do ambitious people distance themselves from non-ambitious people? That's the reason. Is it fair? Maybe not fair, but it happens. Let me know in the comment section below. It's been such a pleasure. My name is Pauline. I hope there is enough sound because today I don't have the headsets or the mic. So I hope there is enough sound today for my family to listen to this. Leave your comments. I want to hear your struggles. I want to hear your pain points. If you're non-ambitious, your perspective. If you're ambitious, your perspective. Everybody's welcome. Let's chat. My name is Pauline Coney and thank you for watching my video. Looking forward to coming here next time. Thank you and bye-bye.